Now on CoastTV News.
A New Year's attack in New Orleans, the dead, the injured, what officials know so far, and now the president has weighed in. The minimum wage in Delaware has officially been raised. We're going to tell you how much more pay is going to be in those checks. And splish, splash, and dash, some brave Delmarvans hopping into the ocean today, then quickly finding a way to warm up. It's all for a good cause.
Howling winds that have caused power outages and damage have calmed down a little bit, but still stay very active. Now we're concerned about a possible snowstorm.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
President Biden addressing the nation after the mass casualty event just hours after the new year hit in New Orleans. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with the attack in New Orleans. We're going to start with some basic facts here. At 3:15 a.m., a truck plowed into a crowd of people. The death toll, first reported at 10, has increased to 15. At least 35 people injured, and an ISIS flag was found on the back of the truck. Tonight, President Biden addressed the nation condemning this atrocity. The president shared that the FBI believes the suspect posted ISIS-inspired videos before the attack and urged patience as the investigation continues.
I know I can speak for all Americans when I say our hearts are with the people of New Orleans after the despicable attack that occurred in the early morning hours. To all the families of those who were killed, to all those who were injured, to all the people of New Orleans who are grieving today, I want you to know I grieve with you. Our nation grieves with you. We're going to stand with you as you mourn and as you heal in the weeks to come.
We continue our coverage in New Orleans with Ivan Rodriguez reporting the latest facts in the case as they continue to unfold. And we must warn you, some viewers might find certain parts of this video graphic and disturbing.
Disturbing surveillance video showing the moment a white pickup truck turned onto Bourbon Street early Wednesday morning, moments before plowing into New Year's Eve partygoers.
Right now, Bourbon Street is an active crime scene.
Officials urged residents to avoid the area of Bourbon Street where crime scene units continue their work.
The bodies strewn, something you can't unsee, you'll never forget.
The screams, I mean, you can't think about, unhear that.
An earth cam in the French Quarter captured the moment overnight when officers raced toward the unspeakable act of violence.
After hitting the crowd, he exited the vehicle and fired upon local law enforcement. Law enforcement returned fire and the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene.
The FBI confirms that the deceased suspect is 42-year-old Shamsu Din Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas who was also an Army veteran. Investigators say his rented Ford pickup had an ISIS flag and the suspect used the vehicle to plow through revelers on Canal and Bourbon Streets. The FBI says the attack appears to be an intentional act of terror.
We will be relentless, and we will do everything that it takes to render real justice.
You will find out what happened and who was responsible, or I will raise fresh hell.
The FBI confirmed that improvised explosive devices were also found at the scene. In New Orleans, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
On Wednesday afternoon, New Orleans officials said mechanical barricades that had been installed around Bourbon Street were not functioning and were being repaired ahead of the Super Bowl in February. They said other barriers were in place, but the driver drove onto the sidewalk to avoid them. At last check, two law enforcement officers who were injured during the gunfight with the suspect and transported to a local hospital were reported in stable condition. In the wake of the attack, officials in New Orleans say the city is on high alert and public safety is their number one concern. Today's highly anticipated Sugar Bowl game, a college football playoff game set in New Orleans, that was postponed. It has now been rescheduled to be played tomorrow, Thursday. Additionally, the Super Bowl is scheduled to take place in February in New Orleans. No official plans have been made or changed regarding that event. And new tonight, there is this. A man was seen surrendering to SWAT outside the New Orleans terror-attacked suspect's home in Houston. Authorities created a perimeter around the Din Jabbar's home On Wednesday, not long after a man came out of the house with his hands up in the air as officers had their guns out, that man was later taken into custody. It is unclear how or if he is involved. Taking a live look into Ocean City right now as we check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, what can you tell us?
Right now, we're still dealing with the winds, but they're not as blustery as they have been. Earlier this evening, it was so windy that caused some problems with power outages, blowing down some power lines. Currently, though, we're holding at about 22-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Indian River Inlet, but a lot calmer everywhere else, about 11-mile-per-hour gusts, which is pretty normal stuff. Here's some of the numbers from earlier. For Seaford, Greenwood, and Prime Hook, we had 38-mile-per-hour wind gusts recorded, 37 in Georgetown, 36 Dagboro, 35 in Laurel. Now, that's one example, but we also had wind gusts of 39 miles per hour in Georgetown, 53 in Salisbury, and 49 Ocean City. So our power outages risk was high until about 9 o'clock from earlier, but now that's dropped a bit for us, so we're a lot more moderate. But right now we're calming down at this point as you take a look at our live Dover cam. Coming up, Charlie, the next thing we've really got to talk about in great detail is the threat of real snow over the weekend.
Keep an eye on that, Paul. Thank you. Delaware's minimum wage has officially been bumped up from $13.25 to $15 an hour. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappé shows us how workers and business owners feel about it.
2024 is now in the rear view. And for the lowest wage workers in Delaware, 2025 means more money in their paychecks. Now that we're officially into the new year, the minimum wage has been raised by $1.75 per hour. If you're someone that works a full 40 hours a week, that's an extra $70 in your pocket. Tony Winter says it makes a difference.
It's very difficult for people and particularly families to live on a $13 an hour wage.
Delaware ranks 31st on multiple cost of living reports, which means this new increase in the minimum wage is a big increase for purchasing power for low-wage workers. But not everyone sees this as a win. We talked to one local who used to run a business, and he told CoastTV that with this increase, owners might have to cut down on staff, and believes that inflation is the real problem. But for Oceanside and Fenwick Island, that's not the case. Owner Rob Fitzpatrick says just about all of his staff already get paid $15 an hour, even before any tips are handed out.
They rely pretty heavily on tips, which adds like an extra $6 to $10 an hour for them. Wage going up is, good for them, but they rely heavily on the generosity of customers anyway.
With inflation on the rise, Winter says increasing the minimum wage is a no-brainer.
Actually, I'd like to see it even go higher than 15, but the increase should certainly help a lot of people in Delaware.
With people having different opinions on the change, they all want the same thing, and that's for everyone to have a better future coming into the new year. I'm Kevin Zappé in Fenwick Island, CoastTV News.
Wage increases are being seen throughout Delmarva. Virginia workers also getting an increase, the pay going from $12 an hour to $12.41 an hour. Maryland is already at $15 an hour. That's because Governor Wes Moore signed a bill to accelerate Maryland's minimum wage increase. It went from $12.50 in 2023 to $15 an hour in 2024. Vacationers planning to stay in Delaware short-term rental properties this year, well, you should prepare for some higher costs. A new 4.5% tax increase on rentals like Airbnb and Vrbo went into effect today, adding to already existing rental taxes. For example, a $400 per night rental booked for 5 nights, it's going to add about $90 under this new tax. And happening now, a lot of new laws going into effect across Delmarva. One in Maryland, there are now new fines if you're caught speeding, especially in a work zone. According to the state, you could receive a fine anywhere from $120 to $1,000, and this could all be done by automated speed enforcement systems, which means you could be seeing these fines in the mail if you're not careful. The Maryland Department of Transportation hopes these strict fines will increase safety for road workers. Happening this year, Delaware Republicans are introducing a bill that would let Delawareans order wine online and have it shipped to them. It is banned currently. Lawmakers have attempted similar bills for 15 years. Critics say wine shipping would hurt retail sales. This bill is limited in scope, only allowing wineries to ship directly to consumers. And if you've been wrongfully convicted in Delaware, there is a new act that's going into effect this year that could help. The Delaware Wrongful Conviction Compensation and Service Act provides financial compensation and services for individuals who prove that they were wrongfully convicted. Those eligible can receive damages, attorney fees, and support services. However, compensation is reduced if they already received money from a related lawsuit. The law goes into effect on June 30th, 2025. To learn what types of cases it involves, visit CoastTV.com. Also in the new year, people on Milford Power will have a slightly higher bill. The city has announced a 1% increase in its power cost adjustment for 2025, but it says Milford is among the lowest electric rates in Delaware. The new rate will go into effect this February. The city encourages homeowners to explore energy-saving options such as rebates and electric usage monitors that could help offset the charges. We're just getting going this evening. Still to come, 150 reasons to celebrate. Ocean City hits a major milestone this year, and they want to have some fun to commemorate it. And next, jumping into the cold water for a good cause, Delmarva hosting polar plunges and penguin swims.
And here's a look at our forecasting models. Starting Monday early in the morning, it looks like we are possibly in the bullseye or crosshairs of some snow. We're going to talk about that in about 60 seconds, so don't go anywhere.
When you're ready to build an extraordinary custom home or an exceptional commercial building, Brendan T. Warfel is here for you. From high-end residential homes to customized commercial facilities, Brendan T. Warfel will provide you with honest and upfront pricing, personal service, and stunning finished products. Choose quality. Choose Brendan T. Warfel.
I build every home as if my family's going to live in it. If my name's going on it, it's going to be done right. I guarantee it.
With Brendan T. Warfel, excellence comes standard.
Well, now that we've gotten past the very blustery conditions we had to deal with for today, now I've got to walk you through my concern for possible snow difficulties going into this weekend, but particularly for Monday. I'm going to show you why I'm overly concerned about that in just a moment. Okay, so our Irish Ice camera in Lewis, we're holding at about 40 degrees. The wind's only at about 6 miles per hour. Things have calmed down dramatically since earlier today, because earlier today was so gusty that we actually lost power in Berlin, actually, because of the winds blowing down the power lines there. 35 is where we're going to end up by 3 o'clock with mostly clear skies. Now, here's where the temperatures are right now. We're a lot milder in Salisbury at 53, but we're in the 30s and 40s other places. 40 in Rehoboth Beach, Bethany Beach, 42 Ocean City. However, 38 degrees in Milton right now and 39 currently in Georgetown. We're clear with cloud cover and precipitation. Obviously, we're staying very clear. Now, we still have a slice of territory that's still under a wind advisory, technically speaking. That's really the coast. So we have a wind advisory in effect for Sussex, but it's really just along the coast, you know, like Lewis, Rehoboth, North Shores, Rehoboth Beach, Truitt's Park. That also affects Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, South Bethany, Ocean View, and all those areas. That's because of its proximity to the gale wind warning, which is still active until 6 o'clock for Thursday. So remember, gale wind warnings, we're talking about 40 to 45 mile per hour gusts. And this slice of real estate right here, just there is what we're looking out for, like 30 mile per hour winds. So as you go inland towards Cross Keys, Georgetown, Milford, and those areas, it's calm. But if you're right there on the beach, right next to the water, still concerned with it. Oh, not only that, but we have small craft advisors watching out for 25 mile per hour wind gusts, Ocean City Beach, and as well for us throughout the Chesapeake Bay area. So we're still dealing with that. We're keeping a close eye on what's happening to our west because we have a significant amount of Arctic air followed by a possible storm that's going to come out of the south and combine with that cold air to give us some chances of snow. Right now, the winds are moving mainly zonal, and we have winds at about 38 mile per hour wind gusts that we recorded in Seaford, Greenwood, and Prime Hook, and a lot of the other locations where we're at 32 miles per hour or a little bit above that. And we had the serious wind gusts recorded in Salisbury at 53 miles per hour, 49-mile-per-hour wind gust recorded in Ocean City, and a 39-mile-per-hour wind gust recorded in Georgetown. Now, the winds are still going to stay active Thursday, about 29, 30-mile-per-hour winds. So we still have blustery conditions expected, but not that big a deal. Now, let's talk about this snow in this last 30 seconds. So Sunday at 11:30, it'll start in the most southern part of the county and near Salisbury. Very light snow. Then it gets a little bit steadier, and then when you start looking at, this darker purple here, that's indicating some inches of snow. Now, this green has creeped up a little bit more here, so there's hope we could possibly avoid it, but it's too early to start saying, we can be relieved. No, let's stay on the watchful and cautious side of this thing, because the back end of it, we still have snow that's being produced. We will monitor it for you. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast.
This next line is sort of a take my word for it kind of thing. There's nothing like kicking off the new year like jumping into a freezing cold ocean. Today in Bethany Beach, folks hit the beach for the 28th annual Leo Brady Polar Plunge. There was also a 5K run and a 1-mile walk where hundreds of folks braced for the cold to raise money for local scholarships and grants.
It was a little windy. The wind started taking me and I was like, oh my goodness, but it was a great time. Always a fun time to run at the beach, so it was awesome. We're also doing the polar plunge. I've never done one of those before, so now it's like, oh my gosh, I get to start the year with a new experience. No better way to start it.
Did the run and the plunge. The Quiet Resorts Charitable Foundation says the grants from donation money typically go to the youth and the elderly, and that it's a great way to give back to the community. Meanwhile, people in Ocean City took the frigid ocean this afternoon as well for the 31st annual Penguin Swim. The annual event, it raises money for Atlantic General Hospital. Last year, the event raised over $100,000. People show up decked out in costumes, bathing suits, kilts, a shark costume, ready to dive right into 2025 in style. And this brings us into our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what is your New Year's resolution focused on? Let's go ahead and take a look at some updated results from earlier this evening. This is what we've got for you so far. Really, it's been the trend for a day and a half here. Health and fitness is the leader. It's getting 66% of the vote. Family and relationships, those are good. That's getting 22%. Finances 8%. Career goals just 4%. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that. Go to CoastTV.com or use the Coast TV mobile app, and we'll show you updated results a little later on. Power outage. The wind wreaking havoc on a few power poles, leaving some in Berlin in the dark. And next, a new home for a new year. If you are in the market, we're going to tell you what you need to know heading into 2025.
Because of Pam's rehab team that has helped me meet my goals of taking a shower after 4 years. If Pam rehab team can help me meet my goals, I'm pretty sure they can help you get yours.
Navigating life after illness or injury is a challenging time filled with uncertainties. At Pam Health Rehabilitation Hospital, we provide high-quality inpatient and outpatient post-acute care that'll help you rebuild your life. It's all about gains. Gain your movement, gain your independence, gain your life back. Pam Health Rehabilitation Hospital, the highest level of care with 3 locations to better meet your needs.
Hi, this is Amber Brazier. Welcome to Brazier's Carpet Care. Drop off your rugs today or have us pick them up and let our state-of-the-art cleaning plant do the rest. Many methods are used to clean rugs, from air dusting to remove fine soil to soaking in our whirlpool. Hand-knotted rugs are carefully washed, rinsed with cold water and wrung out, followed by a trip through the centrifuge before entering our controlled temperature drying room. We also repair all types of rugs from braided to hand-knotted. Quality cleaning by people who care. That's Brazier's Carpet Care.
Over 50 years ago, JD Asphalt was built on strong family values and a commitment to quality. For 3 generations, we've stayed true to those principles, delivering friendly service and fast premium results that's built to last. Growing up, my dad showed me what it takes to be the best. And now I'm passing the same knowledge on to my kids, ensuring our commitment to quality lives on. JD Asphalt, quality paving, family owned and trusted for over 50 years.
At Delaware Electric Cooperative, safety is our top priority, and we need your help to keep employees safe. When you see our team working along area roadways, please slow down and move over. Delaware law requires drivers to reduce speed and move over when approaching working utility vehicles. If you can't move into other lanes, drive at least 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. Do your part to make sure our crews go home safe to their families every day. Slow down. Move over. It's the law.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
If 2025 is your year to buy a home, now is the time to start preparing your finances so you can make a competitive offer immediately. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains what buyers need to know.
Many first-time homebuyers were shut out of the housing market in 2024 because of soaring sticker prices, few choices, and high interest rates. But this year is looking better for buyers.
More choices, more inventory, that will lead to boosts in home sales, roughly by 10% in 2025.
Lawrence Yoon with the National Association of Realtors says now is the time to start getting your finances in order so you're ready to make a competitive offer when you do find the right home. First, make sure your credit is in good standing. Second, figure out how much you can afford. Third, find a mortgage lender.
Look for the mortgage lender who offers the best rates and even consider adjustable rate mortgage.
Be prepared to pay a higher rate for your mortgage. As of last week, the national average for a 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 6.85%, according to Freddie Mac.
If you are in the market for a home, you're going to pay a pretty steep interest rate. And I wouldn't necessarily count on interest rates to come down a lot in the immediate future.
Next, calculate how much your down payment will cost. According to themortgagereports.com, down payments can range anywhere from 3% to 20% of the purchase price. So if you're buying a $300,000 home, be prepared to put down anywhere between $9,000 to $60,000. Once you've been pre-approved by a lender, you're in a much better position to make an offer on a home. Experts caution buyers to stay within their budget. And don't forget to include closing costs and move-in expenses. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
A power line fell in Berlin around 2 p.m. today near Old Ocean City Boulevard and Worcester Highway. Berlin Electric says they believe the pole's collapse was due to a wind shear. There was also a second pole that was halfway fallen in the area. Berlin Electric said originally 600 customers were without power, but within an hour that number was down to about 30.
About 10% is out right now. We backfed everything else, the shopping center. Everything is out on Ocean City Boulevard from this point heading east down to Tractor Supply. They're out of power, and then everything going north up 113.
It's time to look at today's Holiday House. This is from Sharon in Selbyville. Thank you for this photo, and a big thank you to everybody who shared their photos with Coast TV this holiday season. We appreciate it. Still to come, 150 years of Ocean City, the coastal town planning lots of celebrations this year as it hits a major milestone.
And a quick reminder of the latest wind advisory issued is for the coast for Lewis Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, as well as South Bethany, Fenwick Island, Ocean View, and Kenwick.
We salute Mallory Whips. Mallory Whips is a United States Army veteran currently in active reserves and holds the rank of Deputy First Class at the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. Deputy First Class Whips is a school resource officer assigned to Bennett Middle School in Fruitland, Maryland. As a school resource officer, Deputy First Class Whips acts as a mentor while keeping all of the students and staff safe. She is also a member of the Crisis Negotiation Team, where she is often the lead negotiator during very tense critical incidents. Deputy First Class Whips stands out as a U.S. Army veteran, deputy, school resource officer, and as a wife and mother. She is always available when needed and is often complimented on her communication skills, work ethic, and demeanor.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Tomorrow on Coast Life, get smart debt management tips for the new year and discover the hottest new reads for 2025. Plus, was one friend wrong for calling out a big New Year's resolution? Tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
Now it's time for Roofer of the Day. Led by Tyler Hershey, the crew at Hershey Exteriors came out with a strong game plan.
It all started with excellent coverage, highlighted by an equipped-er and protective netting. But Hershey didn't stop there. When they spotted any openings in the roof, boom! They closed the gaps, keeping the home safe from any leaks. And they provide a free Golden Pledge warranty that's backed by GAF. Now that's a game changer. If you need a roof, I'd go with Hershey Exteriors, because life is sweeter with Hershey Exteriors.
Windsor Teak of Falmouth Island offers over 100 different teak tables, over 24 different extension tables featuring self-storing leaves. They come in 2 different heights, dining and counter, plus 2 different widths and 2 different shapes, oval and rectangular. Extension tables start at 66 inches long and go up to 138 inches long and can seat from 6 to 16 people. Plus, over 36 different folding tables. Our drop leaf folding tables can be used with 1 or 2 leaves up. When both leaves are folded down, you can store the tables in just 7 inches of space. The drop leaf tables come in 3 different heights, dining, counter, and bar. And come in 4 different shapes, oval, round, rectangular, and square. Don't forget to check out the non-folding tables, coffee and side tables, and buffet tables. Drop by our showroom and smell the teak. Or visit our website at windsorteakfurniture.com. And remember, teak lasts a lifetime.
Welcome to Toyotathon.
Hi, I want a new Toyota for a weekend getaway. Recharge from the holidays.
Perfect. We've got new vehicles arriving daily.
Excuse me.
I have got a truckload of new Toyotas out front.
A truckload of new Toyotas?
Come on, man. I want one.
Something I said?
Yes.
Buy an exciting new 25 Camry with low 3.99 APR financing, or get low APR financing on a stylish new Corolla sedan.
Toyotathon ends January 6th.
Toyota, let's go places.
Coverage on the road, in your community, along the coast. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, coverage you can count.
People on Milford Power will have a slightly higher bill this year. The city has announced a 1% increase in its power cost adjustment for 2025, but it says Milford is still among the lowest electric rates in Delaware. The new rate will go into effect this February. The city encourages homeowners to explore energy-saving options like rebates and electric usage monitors to offset the increase. Heading down the coast to Ocean City, where long-term repairs to the US 50 bridge are set to resume later this week. Starting January 3rd, crews will work 24 hours a day on the machinery room areas of the draw span. The 2 eastbound lanes and the eastbound sidewalk of the bridge will be closed. Work on this project is expected to be completed by the middle of March. Looking ahead, Lewis locals will soon have a chance to share their thoughts on open space in the city. Next Monday, the mayor and city council is holding a public hearing that will focus on proposed updates to the city's subdivision and land development code. Changes include increasing open space requirements for major subdivisions, redefining or refining what qualifies as open space, and updating design standards. That meeting is at 5:30 p.m. Ocean City will be seeing some more smiling faces this year as the coastal town celebrates its 150th anniversary. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us what we can expect in 2025.
Picking up a magazine to see what to do this year in town. Ocean City is more than just a beach and a boardwalk. There's also big events like Ocean's Calling, Country Calling, Sunfest, and much more.
Winterfest of Lights is pretty cool. I'm here every day walking. I saw the guys setting it up. Brings in a lot of people.
And now, the town is planning 150 days of celebration to honor the big birthday. Tourism and Business Development Director Tom Perlazzo says they're pulling out all the stops.
We're going to celebrate 150 days throughout the year here with, very small activations, and we're going to sprinkle in some really cool events for our public to enjoy.
Expect partnerships with local businesses and organizations to boost both new and beloved traditions. For visitors like Henry Johnson, who's been coming to Ocean City since childhood, the growth is clear.
I've seen this place grow, and it continues to grow, and it's great. More restaurants, more people, and I just love Ocean City.
Palazzo hopes that all these future events will help Ocean City keep people in town longer than just the summertime.
It is an opportunity to create additional economic benefits, derive some attention for the resort. People want to come and book their stay. They can look and see what's out there.
According to Palazzo, all of the 150 plus events will be on their OC Ocean website come January. But if you're looking for more information, you can come right here to the Ocean City Convention Center for more. I'm Kevin Zappé in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Let's take another look at our Coast TV poll this evening. Remember, we want to know what your New Year's resolution focused on. Let's take a look at the updated numbers, see if they've changed at all. Health and fitness still leading the way at 67%. Family and relationships is number 2. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that. Go to coasttv.com or use the mobile app. We'll be right back.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
These hands care for the herd. My hands need to be tough and sensitive. When my hands are dry and cracking, it's hard to do my job. That's why I use O'Keeffe's.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief.
And if it works for these hands, it'll work for yours.
Also try our new hand and body lotion.
Flu season brings the constant caroling of sneezing, sniffling, and whining children. 30% of people infected with influenza do not know it, making it easy to infect others, especially young children. Your best shot? A flu vaccination for yourself and those you love. Your Dachshund offers flu shots 7 days a week, no appointment needed. Flu shots for veterans are always free. Get your flu shot today.
Your Dachshund, in partnership with Tidal Health.
Sam Calagione here, inviting you to soak up the off-season at Dogfish Head. Swing by Bruins and Eats in Rehoboth for $1 wings on Sundays and $12 burgers and pizzas on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Next door at Chesapeake and Maine, enjoy Monday Locals Night with 25% off and $15 lobsters every Sunday. And our Milton Brewery, join us for trivia on Mondays and bingo on Wednesdays. Come explore goodness at our Dogfish locations. Cheers.
Pulling up to a great-looking home is nice. Curb appeal is important. But here on the coast, even more important is dock appeal. At T&G Builders, if you can dream it, we can create it. For uncompromising quality, contact T&G Builders to design and build your coastal dream home. Over 30 years of integrity, empathy, and love. T&G Builders, the sign of quality. Visit us online at tg-builders.com.
Your clock was ticking, and it was time for you to have a baby.
Yep.
He has 7 children. You wanted 1.
Her choice to be the father didn't work out.
We got into an argument. She locked me out the bedroom. She then called the police.
Now mom and baby are on their own.
You shouldn't have been in the same house.
He's purposely making life harder for me since we've broken up.
That's not on anybody but you.
Next, Judge Judy.
Thursday at 2 on Coast TV.
The Fire and Ice Festival, one of Sussex County's most anticipated winter events, is just 1 month away, and this year it is returning with a literary theme, a weekend for the books. Events will occur from January 31st to February 2nd across multiple locations and will feature ice sculptures inspired by beloved novels. Event details and updates can be found on coasttv.com.
Take a look at our Subaru camera in Ocean City, 41 degrees, and we're going to drop down to 39 by 2 o'clock with a few scattered clouds popping up, and then 36 degrees. Our umbrella giveaway winner, Bonita Castelli-Weary of Milton. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. You can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandelas, and Federico. We have an active wind advisory now for the coast, Lewis, the beach, Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, that goes all the way down to Ocean View and down towards Ocean City. But we also have the gale wind warning in effect out in the ocean, so please keep that in mind. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Arctic air takes over by Saturday and sets us up for the snow that we expect and anticipate for Monday.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we're going to see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.